Alright, I get a lot of questions about carb backloading, what I'm currently doing, what's worked great, what tweaks I've made, etc. So I don't always get around to answering them because I get so many of them, and I'm not a diet guru, but I do know what works well for powerlifters. And the conclusion that I've come to, along with Kiefer's help and just experience. Experience is the biggest thing. You can do all the research you want. You can talk to as many people as you want, but you got to find what works for you and what actually works and out there in real life, not just what looks good on paper or what should work in theory. So what I basically come to realize is skipping breakfast is great. On the days that I'm not training, early in the morning, which is only Saturday, never eat within 2 hours of getting up. I'll drink some coffee with coconut oil in it and a little bit of Splenda, and then I'll have a shake, and then I'll go about having my first meal of the day. I'm not going to go in and tell you exactly what I eat because what works for me may not work good for you, and I'm not just going to give everyone a free diet. Sorry, I'm not going to do that for you. But two places I really recommend for you to eat at that one is for sure a national wide chain, and the other is growing pretty rapidly. First and foremost is Chipotle. Awesome. You can get brown rice there. You can get veggies. You can get a salad plate, bowl, burrito, depending on where you're at in your diet and what time of day. Number two is Pollo Tropical. Very good. You can get kind of a bowl, brown rice, chicken, steak, or pork kind of deal there as well. Those are two things that you can pretty much eat no matter what kind of diet you're doing, except for if you're a bodybuilder and you're doing pre-contest. You pretty much have to have everything boiled or baked without any kind of oil or additives or anything like that. So you have to be sure that you're eating super clean. But really, I really like those two places and they're staples. Pretty much every day I have either Chipotle or Pollo Tropical. Along with the no breakfast on non-training days, or at least the training days that I train before 10 a.m., which is only Saturday. So Saturday morning I get up, I'm not going to go out there without eating breakfast. That'd be silly. I go out there and get smashed. I like to eat eggs, bacon, and I add in oatmeal or some kind of multi-grain toast. And then, of course, my caffeine, my coffee, my coconut oil in it. Now, going back to the diet thing of carb backloading or how it works with powerlifting, all that stuff considered, it comes down to really if you're dieting really hard, it's going to affect your strength. If you are eating a lot of food, you're likely to get fat, so you have to get the timings down right. But regardless, one of the two are going to suffer. That's why you see bodybuilders get weak, as they are low carbing it or carb cycling, whatever. They get weak after a while with low body fat percentages. I seem to think around 15%, 16, 17% is pretty optimal for powerlifters. You see some that are close to single digit body fat. I seem to think that those guys have a more likeliness to get hurt or injured or tear something. That's just my opinion. When I was at my leanest, I had the most injuries when I was about 255, 10% body fat, 9% body fat, and I blew stuff off left and right. And there's a few factors that could be considered there, but the biggest thing was I was super lean, didn't really have much cushion, and I blew stuff off. So going back to the backloading, right now I'm doing a modified version of backloading where I still have some carbs, here and there, but they're put in at specific times that won't affect me. And then after training, I will go in and, eat my Cinnamon Toast Crunch or sugar cereal or ice cream. Ice cream is always a favorite of mine, a staple. But at the end of the day, you got to think, okay, well, what is my main goal? Is it to get as strong as possible, be relatively lean, or lose fat slowly? Or is it to get super lean and then have to understand that I'm going to get weaker? When I went down to 270, or from 275 down to 242, I looked great. My physique shaped up really nice. My abs came in all the way. I was nice and tight. I lost some bloat in my face, a lot of bloat. But my squat went down 130 pounds. And it wasn't that I lost so much muscle, but I lost, some of my leverage advantages. My waist got smaller, thick waist, big, strong, thick waist It contributes to big squats, big deadlifts, nice thick core. It isn't to say you want to be a slob and have a 55-inch waist, but at the same time you got to be reasonable and understand that if you slim your waist down 6, 7, 8 inches, I didn't do that much, but just for an example, you're gonna things are gonna change a little bit. So proceed with caution whenever you decide to jump in a diet, especially if you're training for a meet like 10 weeks out. I suggest doing carb backloading in the off season, where you're not taking numbers, percentages, building momentum to go into a meet, and get the body fat off. If you're a really heavy guy or gal, do it in the off season. Make your adjustments then, so that way when you're approaching a meet, there isn't going to be any kind of weird changes that are going to end up killing your strength. So that's my take on this deal. What I'm doing now, and before I was just kind of eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Now I'm back regimented, like I said, skipping breakfast on every day but Saturday morning before I go squat. Coconut oil and coffee first thing in the morning, then a shake, and then I go into my meals. And I'm still doing a version of backloading when I'm doing my version of backloading. And that is a version that is more concerned with building strength than losing fat. The fat loss process is much slower this way, but at the same time my strength is steadily increasing, and I'm still able to put on muscle nice with this. So thank you very much. Let me know if you need anything else.